In today's video, we are taking 6 junky thrifted items and turning them into gorgeous Easter and spring decor that I think you're absolutely going to love. Y'all stick around and let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be making a gorgeous piece of artwork using a $2 thrifted canvas and a beautiful Whimsykel paper. This one is called Weathered Roses. I often pick up these canvases from thrift stores and they're usually very cheap. I just give them a coat of primer, and so that's where we are now. I picked up this canvas, gave it a good clean, primed it, it's dry, and now we're opening up this Whimsykel paper. These papers are 21 inches by 29 inches. They are decoupage papers, and this will come out like a beautiful piece of artwork. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to spritz it with water. You don't want to get it too wet, but you want to get it, just lightly spritz it so that you can get those wrinkles out. If you lightly spritz it, those wrinkles will release and come out. So then you're going to set that to the side. We're then taking the liquid patina from DIY Paint. It is a top coat sealer, but it's also a decoupage medium. So I'm just going to take that out and I'm going to give this a coat of the liquid patina. Now, this is where I got in a hurry and I messed up. Normally what you want to do is just do a starter strip. You want to put about 3 to 4 inches of this liquid patina on your canvas, and then you want to lay your paper on top. I got a little bit excited. Sometimes I do that, and I painted the whole thing. So I had to use not only both my hands, but also my neck when I was doing this. The reason you just want to do a starter strip is because you have better control of your paper. These papers are large, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can mess it up quick. So it's better to just do a little starter strip. You see how I laid it down, and then that's when I realized, oh no, I've done the whole thing. Here I'm basically doing some acrobats. You can't tell what I'm doing off screen, but basically I'm using my neck to hold up the paper so the whole paper doesn't go down onto the canvas. So this is a do as I say, not a do as I am doing moment. So then you're just going to take your hands and you're going to gently, you need to make sure that your hands are clean, and you're gently going to press out all the wrinkles. You can also use your hand inside of a plastic bag. Some people do that, but I usually just like to use my hands, and that's just how I like to do it, but there's multiple different ways. I noticed it wasn't sticking down completely right there in the corner, so I pulled it back up and added a little bit more of the Modge Podge. I'm doing it on both sides, and then you're just going to take out your brayer and you're just going to roll it, and that will roll out the wrinkles. There was some excess paper at the bottom of the canvas, so I went ahead and cut that off, and then I saved it so that I can use it for another project. You don't want to throw it away because you can use it in smaller frames or on smaller decor pieces. The next step is to take out your liquid patina again, and you're going to cover the top with the liquid patina so that you seal in the decoupage paper. I like to make it look like I'm painting it, so you can either do little hash marks or just little brush strokes. So if you happen to see the liquid patina when it dries, or whatever decoupage medium you're using, that it looks like a painting. After your liquid patina has completely dried, you're going to take out your sandpaper, and in a downward motion, hitting the edges of the canvas, you're going to use that sandpaper until you can gently tear the sandpaper off. But you do need to make sure that that decoupage paper is dried, or it's just going to be gooey and you're not going to be able to get that straight line to tear apart. After you've completed the tearing off of the excess paper, you may have to go back with a little bit of that decoupage medium around the edges and make sure that it's completely sealed. I did that off camera. The next step is to take a coordinating color, and I went ahead and chose Driftwood from Rethunk Junk. It's very close to the color of the painting, or it's in that painting, and so I went ahead and went around the edges. I'm going to give it 2 coats of that Driftwood paint. If florals are not your style, I carry around 100 different designs from Whimsykel Papers, ranging from cats and dogs to scenery, abstracts, all kinds of cool and funky designs that you can make your own artwork from for super cheap. These turn out looking like actual paintings, and they are super cool. If you like how this $2 thrifted canvas turned out, y'all give me a thumbs up. And also know that you can add these to furniture, tables, dressers, all kinds of things. And if you'd like to see more videos on this technique, you can check out my earlier videos. I found this large cutting board at a thrift store for $1 or $2. Off camera, I went ahead and gave it a good clean in my sink in soapy water and then let it dry completely. I took out this layered chocolate DIY paint and I gave it a good coat of paint. We are going to be playing around with the Spring Melody paint inlay from the new IOD release. I really love that paint inlay, and I want to play around with it a little bit more. So after I gave it a good coat of paint, I let it dry, and then I took out the layered chocolate again and I gave it another coat of paint, because we are going to be putting a paint inlay into this chalk paint, directly into this chalk paint. I had this little bunny paint inlay. It's a beautiful print, but it's a light pink color, and I didn't think that it would show up on white, so I decided to paint the dark chocolate color, layered chocolate, so that it would show up. So I took out the paint inlay and I gave it a good spritz with my water. And after you give it a spritz of water, you're then going to lay it directly into that wet paint. Did you see the color of that paint inlay? It's pretty hard to see on camera. So then you're just going to lay it directly into that paint, and then you're just going to rub it into the paint, and you're going to let it dry completely. To make sure that you actually spritz the side of the paper that actually has the paint on it, and then that's the side that you lay directly into your paint. So now that it's completely dry, I'm taking out my spritzer bottle again, and I'm going to just spritz it with water until it's wet, and this makes your paper peel up easier from your project. Otherwise, it'll be really hard to pull up. And now I'm just going to gently peel back the paper, revealing that gorgeous bunny image. My name is Emily. I'm with J. Bowen & Company. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad that you decided to spend your time with me. I know it's very valuable, and I appreciate all of you watching my video. I have some really fun Easter and spring projects today, so y'all stick around. You don't want to miss them. There is also another technique where you can also use paint inlays, and I've used that other technique on several other of my past several videos. So if you haven't caught that, check out my last several videos and you can see how I did the paint inlay using a top coat versus putting them directly into the chalk paint. So now I'm just showing that leftover paper and how you can use it again on another project. DIY chalk paint requires a sealer, otherwise it can be reactivated by water. So I'm taking out one of DIY's top coats called Big Top, and I'm giving it a coat of that. So now the DIY paint will be sealed, and if it gets wet, the paint will not be reactivated. I'm now finishing off the project by painting the back of the cutting board with the color, I'm not sure if it's damask or damask. I was told it was damask, but I really don't know. So we'll call it Damask from now on. So that is the color. It's a very pretty light dusty rose. I did a project on last week's video and y'all all seem to love it. So this is the same color. It dries a little bit darker. This is Fusion Mineral Paint. Fusion Mineral Paint has a built-in top coat and primer, so you don't have to seal it, where the other paint, the DIY paint, has to have a sealer. If you like how this cutting board turned out, give me a like. Hit that like button and let me know what you think about this cutting board. The next project is this little bunny. It was okay as is. It had a little ring of fake florals or faux florals around its neck when I purchased it. So I took those off, gave it a good clean, and now I'm going to make it into a chocolate bunny. I am starting to see chocolate bunnies here in the last few years, but I want to tell you, literally probably, goodness, 15 years ago, I painted all of my bunnies to look like chocolate bunnies. Now, some were chocolate and some were white chocolate, and I did some in tan colors, some in off-white, and some in chocolate. I had a bunch of these little ceramic bunnies that I had purchased a long time ago, back when I used to decorate a ton for Easter. But all we're going to do is we're just going to take that layered chocolate, paint it, seal it, and now here we are with the final project. Quick and easy and super cute. Next project is this wall bucket. It looks like it has seen better days. I picked it up for a couple dollars at the thrift store. Y'all, I come across these type things all the time. I thought that this would be a perfect base for either a mold or a paint and lay or a transfer, but because it's spring and I'm actually going to use this in my house, I thought that I would paint it the way that I wanted to paint it. So I gave it a quick coat of paint of the Apothecary, that's the DIY paint, and then I added the paint inlay directly on the bucket and I let it dry. I didn't think that y'all needed to see all those steps because I think y'all have it down, but I'll show you the part where you remove it. This is the best part. So on this one, it came out a little bit distressed, but I want you to see how it came out. When I first started pulling it away, I noticed that all of it was not adhering to the bucket, and I thought that I would leave it a little while and let it, you know, all come off. But then I decided, you know, I really love that distressed look, so I thought that I would go ahead and remove it and show you what it looks like if it doesn't all come off. Now, if you like the distress look, you can go ahead and pull it up. If you want it to have a really good transfer, then you would want to let it dry completely. So I want you to understand the difference, that I'm doing this on purpose. You're going to see a lot of distressing. Now, if y'all are interested in any of these IOD products, any of the DIY paint, Fusion Mineral Paint, or any of these products that you're seeing in this video, I actually sell all of these products on my website, and I will put them in the description. Now, you see right there where that rose didn't transfer all the way? I like that look. I like things to look kind of old. It doesn't look brand new. I would have left it on a little longer. It would have all transferred. I'm now showing you what was left on that paint inlay, and here in a few minutes I'm going to show you how I use that paint inlay again. However, here I am putting on a top coat, the liquid patina, which is another top coat from DIY paint. Remember, this paint has to be sealed or it can be reactivated with water. And the good thing about liquid patina is it can be used indoors or outdoors. It is also an excellent decoupage medium. Now here is the final project. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, now would be a good time to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Okay, so now I took that paint inlay that I'd used before and I wanted you to see what it looked like when you use it again. I painted it with crinoline, a beautiful off-white, and here it is. So you can see how it transferred some of that green paint, some of the Apothecary paint from that previous project, but down there at the bottom it transferred perfectly because that part had not been used before. But I thought that looked a little bit weird, so all I did is took out some fine sanding paper, and I went ahead and sanded it a little bit so then it looked like a complete piece, like it was natural and it blended in together. I then wiped away any dust from the sanding, and then I decided that I was just going to do a little bit of distressing around the edges. If you've watched this far in the video, leave me a rose emoji, and don't forget you can pick up all of these products in my description, and I'll leave my latest video for you to watch and to check out in the comments. Stay tuned for the next project coming up soon. Just going to do the same process. It's on top of that crinoline DIY paint. It's an off-white, beautiful off-white antique color. We applied this other sheet, and that's all we're going to do. I'm not going to distress it or anything. Of course, you have to seal it, and now here is the final reveal. So which one of all of these projects is your favorite? I would love to hear from you in the comments what you think about this paint inlay, what you think about these projects. If you leave me a comment, I promise that I will get back to you.